your definition of divisive concepts as referenced in House Bill 327 and 616.
Thank you. I can speak to 327. I cannot speak to 616 specifically because I'm not sponsoring that bill and I don't know what changes have taken place. But it is important to know that the legislative process starts off with a bill. And so 327 started out with a bill trying to define divisive concepts. And it has morphed over time as we received input from the public and we had interested party meetings, proponent and opponent testimony, so that that term is no longer being used in the bill. And we are being very careful to try to specifically help people understand that this bill is about protecting the civil rights of every child in every school and the civil rights of every employee in public schools, state and local government entities, and universities. And we feel that to do that, taxpayer dollars need to be protected from being used to promote racist and anti-American ideologies. This does not mean that you can't talk about them. We encourage talking about them. It means that you cannot only hear that side of the story and that you need to have well-rounded perspectives. Thank you.
Yes, there's been revisions to that, but it is known as the Divisive Concept Bill. And by definition, divisive concept means quite simply difficult conversation. That's how it's defined. And so what the bill is saying to you is that difficult conversations need to stop. And guess what? I can speak to 616. You guys can't too. All of this is online. So that's the sister bill, right? That is the sister bill to 327. 327 has municipalities, political subdivisions, schools, universities. And whereas 616 is schools. So again, not being able to have difficult conversations. That's what's concerning. The interesting thing about House Bill 616 is that it does list one book by name, and it is the 1619 Project. And I don't know if you've read the 1619 Project. I have, and that has 54 pages of citations in it. Not 54 citations, 54 pages of citations. Why would that be banned? Thank you.
Do you believe that Ohio schools should teach that there are two neutral and legitimate sides to, quote, divisive concepts?
Thank you for the question. I think this goes back to the legislative process. We have an original draft of the bill. We received commentary on it. One of our revisions included a request from a superintendent that we include multiple sides. And the way that it got drafted was two sides. In further revisions of that draft, that has been removed to state multiple perspectives because in no way do we believe that there's only two sides to every issue or that they should be given equal weight or value. And so obviously we are still operating from a perspective of what Americans hold to be true and good and right. And that is the conscience that the local board is going to promote in their school and say this is what we expect you to be teaching. And so the idea that there's only two sides or that they have to be equally held as correct is not accurate, but it did come about as a part of drafting the bill, and we had discussions on that and decided that that was no longer appropriate language to include. Thank you.
No, sometimes there's one side of the story. Sometimes there's right, and sometimes it's wrong. And history has shown us that. And I'm just going to cut to the chase here. We're known nationally as teaching both sides of the Holocaust bill. This is how we're known nationally. That's embarrassing. That's hard. That's a tough thing for me to even, it's secondhand shame. It's horrible. We can do better than that. We can do better than that. Thank you.